Hello everyone. In this video I will show you another breach-splinter farming strategy. This strategy is a bit more budget friendly than the strategy that I showed you before. I saw that Uul-Netol breachstones nearly have the same value as chayulas, so I had to make a video about it. The Atlas tree changed a bit because I came to the conclusion that harbingers perform better than strongboxes, and I found some other improvements over the video I previously made. So let me briefly go over the Atlas tree. For breach, we take probing for weakness, evolving hives, breed from flesh, all of chayula within their grasp, eve of invasion, power struggle, and otherworldly artifacts. If you have a high damage dealing build and you can clear the breach really fast, you can take flash breach. Breaches in your maps open and close 10% faster. Or if you are a bit on the slower side, you can take heavy breach. Breaches in your maps open and close 30% slower. For harbingers, I took ominous arrival, unspeakable offensive, and first wave. The tormented spirit nodes are Seance and Unrelenting Torment to add some extra quantity to our maps. I also decided to invest some Atlas points into shrines because shrines are always nice and increase your survivability. Duplication, Drawn to Power, and Syncretism. There's also a optional Nico node, Packed with Energy. This node will increase your survivability, damage capabilities, and movement speed. The downside to this node is that you have to have Nico on your maps, so a rusted sulfide scarab or a Nico mission is needed. I also decided to take singular focus, but if you do not have 10 or more favorited map slots unlocked, I would not take this note. Subtle manipulations. Map device has 10% chance not to consume scarabs. This will increase your profit margins even more because every 10th run you do not have to pay for a scarab. I also decided to take all these small quantity nodes and the item quantity and rarity nodes over here, plus all the big map modifier nodes to increase our currency gains even more. So I decided to roll away some mechanics. I rolled away Heist, Ultimatum, Light, and Ritual. All right, let me quickly go over the Scarabs, Sextants, and Maps that I would recommend you to run. The items that you see on the left side are necessary, and the items that you see on the right side are optional. So for this strategy to be effective, I would recommend you to use a Gilded Breach Scarab, a Sextant that guarantees Uul-Netol. I would also recommend that you buy the Sextants that have 4 uses remaining because there's no benefit to buying a elevated Sextant version of this. We still just get Uul-Netol and 3 additional clasp hands. And the recommended maps, this is open. I personally have pretty good experience with the Dunes map, but you can also run this strategy on a tropical island, cemetery, or jungle valley map. So the optional scarabs are polished harbinger scarabs to increase the amount of harbingers that we have on our maps, a rusted sulfide scarab to guarantee Nico mission on our maps so that we can benefit from the packed with energy node, and a polished divination scarab to get more divination cards. The optional sextants are map bosses are accompanied by Monsieur's Harbinger. Map bosses drop additional currency shards. Harbingers in your maps drop additional currency shards. Your maps contain breaches. Your maps contain 2 additional breaches. Here I would recommend that you go for the elevated version because here we get 2 breaches instead of just 1. And this sextant makes us reflect immune and add some rare monsters to our maps while being pretty inexpensive. Okay, let's go over the total cost. Ignore the blessing of Uul-Netol, obviously. I will go over that later, and the breachstone. So if we would just run a Dunes map, chisel it up, use an Orb of Alchemy, use a Gilded Breach Scarab, and the Sextant, of course, we would have to pay 21 Chaos Orbs. So to break even, we only have to get 10 Splinters because the current price for a Uul-Netol's Breachstone is 1 Divine Orb, and 1 Divine Orb is currently valued at around 210, 215 Chaos Orbs. If we, of course, decide to add the other Scarabs, our profit margins have to be a bit higher, but this is easily doable. If you decide to go with this strategy, I would always keep an eye on the market on how much you would have to pay for Blessings of Uul-Netol, for regular breachstones, and for flawless breachstones. As you can see, we would have to pay 1 divine orb for a regular Uul-Netol's breach zone, 2 divine orbs for a blessing of Uul-Netol, and 4.2 divine orbs for a Uul-Netol's flawless breach zone. If we just combine these two, we would make 1.2 divine orbs in profit for basically not doing much. So always have an eye on this part of the market because there's some easy currency to be made. Okay, enough theory talk. Let me show you an actual run. I will run this map with all the recommended and optional items that I suggested. So we will use all the Scarabs and 3 out of the 4 Sextants that I recommended. We will use the Uul-Netol Sextant, the additional Breach Sextant, and the Mysterious Harbinger Sextant, while also using a Rusted Sulfide Scarab, Polished Divination Scarab, Polished Harbinger Scarab, and a Gilded Breach Scarab, and we will run a Tier 9 Dunes map. The total cost for this run is 46.95 Chaos Orbs. Let's go. Alright, that is the loot that I got out of the map. Unfortunately, PoE stack is not able to calculate the value of the breach rings, but that is fine. PoE stack evaluates the stash tab at 338 Chaos Orbs. I have to disagree with that though, because Splinters of Uul-Netol are not worth 4 Chaos Orbs per Splinter. I will put them at 2.1 Chaos Orbs per Splinter, which still gives us a stash tab that has a Chaos value of 213, minus the original investment of 46.95 Chaos Orbs. We still made a profit of 166.05 Chaos Orbs. Alright, I hope you guys found this video informative, and I wish you good luck accumulating a lot of currency. Goodbye.